Hello and welcome to League of Vloggers. This is episode 3 now. Goodness gracious. Our co-host tonight, Kurtis James over there. We've got Heather. Heather, we're still coming up with a name.
Stormy's good. I'll go back to my Xbox days.
Okay, Stormy. And then myself, Viking Redbeard, aka Chase. And yes, that is us.
I like that you just implied your real name is Viking Redbeard, and you're like, my parents named me weird, so online I go by Chase.
Because that's so much better.
I'm just gonna assume every dude who like I run to online and their name is like John, that their real life name is like Barabbas.
Barabbas.
Yeah, like their parents named them something awful, so their online name is just a normal fucking name.
Sorry, my brain is never here.
Never here.
So, alright, that being said, we are going to talk about Week 2 matches. They happened over the weekend.
As they do.
They were the... Oh.
Alright, okay, so first things first, let's just go Team Liquid. They're 4-0 now.
4-0.
They walked through this week again, taking down 100 Thieves and Clutch. One of those teams looked good last week. The other one did not. But TL walks through it again, really seemingly not having too much of a struggle. Like, Clutch did okay, 100 Thieves did okay at points.
I think TL had a formidable lead.
Yeah.
In both games.
I mean, when it comes down to it, Liquid, they're just the best team in the league right now. Like, right now, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question about that. Nobody's looking as well put together as they are. Which, I guess you should expect. I mean, they have this really superstar team already. And they add in Jensen in the mid lane and Core JJ as support. Like, there's not a single position where you're like, who's that guy? What has he done before? Like, they're all multiple, like, they've either won Worlds, if you're Impact or Core JJ, or they've been to Worlds several times, if you're Double Lift, Xsmithy, or Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those guys get out of their league all the time, so I don't know why we would expect anything less from them right now.
Well, and so what's interesting with Team Liquid right now is they've taken down Cloud9, they've taken down 100 Thieves, they've taken down Clutch. Like, at this point, who should they be worried about?
CLG.
Oh. Hold on, that should be muted.
So,
it's not working.
they play FlyQuest and Optic next week.
Yeah.
I feel like they've already taken down, like, their big-time competitors. So, I think they've got probably a couple weeks here of smooth sailing. I mean, I know Optic's no one to scoff at, and TSM's in week 4, but for the most part, like, if they're taking down all these other teams with no problems, I imagine they're going to continue to kind of do the same.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be very hard.
I will probably pick them
Who
every
do they
time.
have next week?
FlyQuest and Optic, but FlyQuest is 3-1, so they're formidable as well. Like, something to watch out for.
Yeah,
And,
FlyQuest did alright. And Optic's looking pretty good at the moment, too.
Yeah, and FlyQuest having... Oh, yeah, Wild Turtle's looking pretty insane right now in FlyQuest. They took down TSM this weekend and lost to CLG. Do we have topics? I'm going to be all over the place.
Honestly, I think we should just jump all over the place. Honestly, like, we talked about how good TL is. Let's actually talk about Optic and FlyQuest right now, because I think they're both teams that are middle of the pack, but are looking really good. So let's go ahead and dive into FlyQuest first, since you were already talking about Wild Turtle.
So Wild Turtle, he has just been blowing people up, at least on the TSM match. I don't recall where things all went downhill on day 1 against CLG, but CLG played like monsters this weekend as well. So FlyQuest, I think they've got some pretty good wins under their belt with Optic and TSM right now. I don't know, they're looking good. Pleasantly surprised by how well they're doing.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I thought Wild Turtle was looking good. Like, they as a team are just kind of putting it together and keeping it going. Like, they looked obviously good last week with a 2-0, but they also played Golden Guardians and Optic, neither of whom looked like they had it going real well yet.
Yeah.
Now, they did lose to CLG, I believe, this week?
Yes.
Yeah. And that was a rough one. I feel like they let that game get away from them because they had a lead and they just weren't able to close it out, and then eventually Scion becomes Scion and just marches around and doesn't die.
Yeah.
That match was 49 minutes long? 50?
It was long. But their game against TSM is where like they really did shine. They had Wild Turtle on that Kaisa, and he looked on point. And once again, we saw Zoe just being disgusting. Yeah. It seems to be what Zoe does. I think if you're playing against a team where you are afraid of their mid laner, so like not against like Huhi would you ban it necessarily, but most of the other mid laners in the league, I feel like you ban Zoe.
Yeah,
because she's gross.
I know I said it last week that 2 different people were on Zoe, and I was like, that's just scary. It is terrifying. And then Pobelter showed up with the Zoe on their second game versus TSM.
They're stealing the Baron just now. Yeah, like
it was insane. They rewatched the play, and the announcers, they were like, wow, I didn't even notice that Zoe was the one that smited, and that she had the smite.
Yeah, no, I noticed that right away. I was just like, oof, that's rough.
Yeah.
But, because their first game, FlyQuest's first game versus CLG, they had the gold lead, they had dragons, they had a good objectives going on. They were stacked pretty well, but CLG played a long con. They know that tank's the way to go. And the announcers at the end, it was so funny to me. They kept mentioning, CLG's tanks are, doing their thing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Every single person on their team has 3K to 4K health. Even the mid laner. Everyone on their team is a tank right now, and there's no way to even kill them. So they just played it very slow. Both of their games. I'm talking about CLG this week. That's
right.
Yeah. But I think FlyQuest still played that first game very well, even though they lost.
No, I definitely agree there.
Good team. Good surprising.
I think they're just going to continue to gel a little bit better as it goes. I mean, Pobelter's new to the team, and I don't know. I expect them to be a nice middle of the pack team right now. That's how they looked kind of coming into the season to me, and I totally believe that going forward right now. Mm-hmm. And then so the other team we mentioned that's kind of middle of the pack is Optic. And Optic putting up another good weekend. Honestly, my big takeaway was how good Dokla looked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not sure when that happened, because I saw him as like kind of middling last year, and in week 1 he didn't look that impressive, I thought. Like, his stats were pretty okay, but I didn't think he looked that good. And then all of a sudden this week, like, he was winning games. Anybody else have a take on them?
Did anyone else, I forget, who all got sent to Korea to play in solo queue to boot camp up? Was it just the teams that went to Worlds like Cloud9 and...
Right, yeah. The ones who went before Worlds, it would be those 3, and then Cloud9 went back again after Worlds, but that's it.
No other teams? Okay.
No, I don't
Then I have no idea where he's getting this burst of energy from. Like, we've got... Cloud9's bench has usually been like the hyperbolic time chamber, where you go sit on that for a little bit, and then you just come out ripped and way awesome. So for it to happen to Optic like that, I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, he played the Scion in their first game against Clutch, and the Scion's just really dirty right now. But he got that triple kill in the jungle early, which just played through like. It was just, at that point, the lane was over. He was playing into a Jace, which should be a hard matchup, and he bought the one piece of armor, the Ninja Tabi to start, and then went Frozen Fist, so he went armor and damage rather than a Sunfire Cape, which is what you normally see. And at the end of it, he was building a lethality item. He had the Serrated Dirk and the Cudgel, or whatever it's called, that hammer that gives CDR. And, like... I don't know, he was just being
Frozen
gross.
Mallet?
No, it's the piece. It builds into, like, Yomu's Ghost Blade or whatever.
No, I don't know.
But yeah, like, he got so far ahead, like, there was just nothing they could do to him. And then his other game, they did lose, but he played a really good Urgot. I think Echo Fox kind of got away with one there.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't play poorly, but Optic misplayed some things in that game that allowed it to get away from them. But overall, I think Optic's looking really good. They're looking like a playoff team right now, too, I think.
Yeah, nope, I'd agree with that right now.
Optic? Really?
I mean,
yeah,
they're 2-2, but they lost to FlyQuest and Fox. Losing to Fox is a little bit more of a blow,
right?
But the win against Clutch was really good. It's like, you beat Clutch day 1, but you couldn't secure against Fox day 2?
Yeah.
But...
I think Optic's the team that's hunting for that 6th spot. Oh, and I take back. I could say Dokla didn't look good that first week. He didn't play week 1. They were playing their sub everywhere but Crown. And,
that's right,
and they subbed in Dokla this time. They left in everyone else, because obviously Arrow's not in yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're looking good with everything. I think actually bringing Dokla in was an improvement to that team. I think he's better than who their sub was.
Can I just say poor Meteos again? Fucking riding that bench.
Yeah.
As like,
is he gonna get to play?
I don't know, because it's week 2 already. Come and gone. We've not seen Meteos. He fucking is gonna end up being like the bridesmaid every single time. Because he was supposed to have the starting spot too. Like,
yeah.
Dardoch is the academy jungler, and the academy jungler's been on the main stage both weeks now. So
Right. Well, okay. So here's the thing, though. Dardoch's issues always start when like they're losing or like things are going badly. Like they did lose that Fox game. If he kept his composure on stage through the Fox game, he's still probably okay. But if they lose more, or if he loses his composure even in games they win, I think that's when Meteos comes in. I think Dardoch will probably behave better because he knows that's over his shoulder. Yeah. I don't know that he's ever been on a team where like he had somebody sitting behind him who was proven and known. Whereas, like, it's always been like, well, this kid could be good. It's like, no, it's fucking Meteos, man.
Well, to
like,
be fair, Meteos hasn't played in, like...
He was just a split. He was on 100 Thieves.
Yeah, but he didn't make it all the way through the spring split.
He didn't make it, yeah, so it's been a split since he played. He played a couple weeks of spring split, or I'm sorry, summer split, even. He left in summer, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that he didn't play any of summer.
No, the trade happened early in summer. But yeah, like, he played all of spring split for 100 Thieves. So it's like, and he was good then. He was good on, was it Phoenix 1 he played on for a little bit, I think? Or what? I mean, he's played on a couple teams since Cloud9. And he's still been good. Like, he was good on 100 Thieves last year anyway. So, I think that one's interesting to see, like, if Optic does struggle, they have another option to, bring in. So, that's another thing. Like, even though they're 2-2, they're still like bringing in their players. So I think I don't know. They're looking like they're targeting that 6th place, that last playoff spot. That's where I see them right now, just because they seem confident. I know you seemed like you questioned that a little bit.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know too much about Optic, and
well, 90% of these teams are all shakeups from last year. So
yeah. So, well, if we want to talk about shakeups, let's talk about CLG. Because they went from being 0-2 in Week 1, losing to Optic and Liquid, to beating FlyQuest and C9 in Week 2.
Yeah, they were actually the team that surprised me the most this weekend. Darshan played out of his mind. Just everything, yeah. They played so well, so...
Darshan the man!
Darshan, yeah. CLG really did turn it around for me. I called them a panic, and now I regret it.
Yeah, I called them panic, too. I mean...
I think they're going to do the same thing every game if they feel like they're going to be in trouble. Like, they're just going to build tank everywhere they can.
Yeah.
And Zonia's
and I think you should
Guardian
right
Angel
now.
and Zillion, and they're going to do that every single game if they can.
Yeah, so they got Scion against Cloud9 and played it into the... I don't know why people are still fucking playing it, the Victor.
Yeah.
And against... And they had the Scion as well against FlyQuest.
I know.
Like, most of the Scions we're seeing are winning, or at least they're doing well, and their team might not be. I don't know why people are letting Scion through or not, like, prioritizing it higher. I guess I'd have to dig in a little deeper, but, like, we're seeing it come around in, like, second round of picks right now. And it's just like, okay? I don't know why you just want to take it. I mean, I'm not aware of what the counter is into Scion that people are afraid of, but he just seems really gross right now. I don't know if I would be afraid of a thing. Like, it makes me want to play Scion in solo queue watching this, because you're seeing him get 1,000 HP off of his passive.
With like, what is it, the stone skin and the stone blade thing?
Yeah, well, yeah, and then you build gargoyle stone plate so that
plate.
you can double it in a fight and, like, nobody can tear through you.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
It's so dumb.
But I mean, if people, the next teams who's playing them next, CLG is Fox and 100. If Fox and 100 Thieves don't ban Scion, they're straight up dumb.
Yeah.
Going into CLG.
Well, the problem is that there's other priority pick bans. I mean, Cloud9, they banned the Lucian, the Lysandra, and the Akali in the first round. and then they came through and banned Orianna, and they banned the mid lane pretty hard there.
Yeah. Ducks in with it. I don't know what to think of CLG, and I'm a CLG fan.
Yeah.
Well, and so I commented before we started here that I hadn't actually noticed that Darshan didn't play both games last week. I missed that somehow, that Fallen Bandit played game 1 with Wiggly, and Darshan... Or no, he played game 2 with Wiggly, and game 1 was Rainover with Darshan.
That's right.
And it's just like, I don't know about you, but when they played Fallen Bandit in week 9, day 1 last split, I didn't think he looked that good, but Wiggly looked good. And then on day 2, when they played Darshan with Wiggly, they both looked good. So why the fuck are we pretending Fallen Bandit or Rainover were going to be any good? Like, if they don't play this lineup next week, both games, I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
I think they will. I mean, after this weekend, I think they will.
Yeah.
It's going to be Darshan and Wiggly.
Like, I feel like they threw away a win they could have had against Optic.
Maybe.
Like, if you're going to play Rainover and Fallen Bandit to see if they're any good, play them against Liquid, where you're going to lose anyway.
You might as well just get practice in.
Like, they might have been able to
That's
beat
true.
Optic on day 1,
Maybe.
week 1, had they played the team that was any good.
Well, I think CLG next week will be the deciding factor on if they're actually good or if they just got lucky this weekend.
Right. Because those are two teams you have to beat if you want to make playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Echo Fox and then 100 Thieves is who they're going up against next weekend. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Fox isn't anything too impressive right now, but there's still a team that you want to beat, and then
Right.
100 Thieves is going to be the actual test.
Well, like, 100 Thieves is 1-3 after a unimpressive week for them. Or 2 weeks for them. I mean, granted, their 3 losses are to TSM, Cloud9, Team Liquid. But a quick comment actually on the CLG win against Cloud9. If Cloud9 doesn't pick Victor, I think that changes the matchup, first of all. And secondly, they play after putting on a clinic with their vision against Golden Guardians, they completely fumbled their vision once they hit mid-game against CLG. Like, they just lost tempo and couldn't get it going. Like, they had a couple opportunities to get back into that game, and they never did. So credit to CLG on that, though.
Oh, yeah.
I think they played a better second game than their first game. CLG, again, slow played that first game till the win.
Right, yeah. I feel like the other team let it slip away.
Yeah.
Who was it? It was FlyQuest. FlyQuest let a win slip away, whereas Cloud9 gave them the opportunity for the win, and they took it.
Yes. I think that's
Well, CLG, they just kind of played like a very slow game. Like, they weren't trying to push anything. They weren't trying to make huge plays. They were just kind of slowly winning the entire time. There were so many games where they're like, was 6 dragons taken down? Was the CLG Cloud9 one of those? Where Cloud9 had given up 6 dragons?
Yep. Yeah, CLG had 6 dragons.
And
it was like 3 mountain,
and
3
3 ocean.
I believe.
Yeah.
Was it on the CLG C9 fight?
It was one
Well, I know that 6 Dragons, Day 2, Game 2, Fox had 6 Dragons versus Optic.
Maybe?
That
Behind
one,
the curtain.
That one I know specifically. That
Yeah.
that Fox had 6 Dragons on their side. If there were 6 Dragons like taken on the CLG C9 fight, I don't think
There
it was
were a
all on
couple
one
different
team.
games where there were 6
We
dragons.
can find out real quick by pulling up that highlight reel. Oh yeah, it was 3 mountain, 3 ocean.
I love
Like
it
they're
when
at
I'm right.
2 and 2 at this point, but it became 6 against
Yeah?
Cloud9.
Shit.
And we saw quite a few teams dominate the Dragon this week. I see that, like, and we've seen a lot of fighting around it. I think we're going to see a lot more teams picking early team fight comps in order to try and get those couple Dragons so that they continue to control it going
They
forward.
commented that on the announcer's desk.
Yeah. So,
That first dragon on each one is.
yeah,
better
they
now,
ended with
so.
3 and 3 in just under a 40-minute game. But it was just gross. So, I mean, Juxtapose is a good question. Are they good? Are they middle? Like, where do we see CLG right now?
Well, I basically stole what he was saying in my last comment.
Oh, where do you actually see them?
I don't know. That's why I moved into. I want to see how they do next weekend. I don't want to form any sort of opinion right now because I don't think that it's gonna pan out the way I think it will. So, what is it? Two's not a trend. What was the thing Zane said all the time?
It's 3's a trend, 2's a pattern, or 4's a pattern. I don't remember. I've heard it before.
Regardless, I'm not going to form my opinion until they give one more good weekend where they're putting up good numbers. Yeah. If they go against Echo Fox and 100 Thieves next weekend, I may be a believer that CLG's got what it takes to make playoffs.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that.
I'm very excited to see their games next weekend.
Yeah, it was me again, I'm sure.
This weekend, I just watch all the games, but CLG, it wasn't like I was very invested into their games until C9, I guess, more than anything. And then
I was just cursing C9
win both of them, I'm like, well, now next week's going to be even more interesting. Because if they do the same thing, even if they slow play it, even if they just go tanky and they use Scion, if Scion is getting banned, which I really think the other team should be aware of that and maybe ban Scion away from them. But, yeah.
I feel like if they can play this well with other picks, with more than the Scion, if they can withstand bans, then they have a chance at making 6th still. They're going to end up fighting somebody like Optic for it. But if it's just like, hey, does Darshan have Scion? If yes, then win. If not, then...
We don't know.
Then they're not going to be able to get above 7th. I just don't think they have it in them if they have to have that one thing. Because the rest of the team isn't playing well enough to make up for everything. As good as I think Demonte is in the mid lane, I don't think he can carry that. Or wait, no, Demonte's not their mid.
That's clutch.
Who's their mid?
CLG?
Yeah, I just brain farted.
I know Demonte is CG.
God damn it. Forgetting now. Quick, everybody, figure it out.
It's Power of Evil.
Yeah, Power of Evil. There we go. I'm like, I know they got a good one from somebody else. Yeah, as good as Power of Evil is, he proved on Optic last year that he can't carry the team. And while I think Styx A is good, and he's still got Biofrost, I don't think that's going to be enough to make that team happen.
I will say that the second game, though, versus Scion, Power of Evil on Zillion with the Scion combo is super strong.
Zillion's still really good. I'm happy to be seeing him crop up again.
It's so cool to watch that little revive, and then they sustained for so long. It's crazy. He was Orianna first game, and it wasn't anything exceptional. It was just follow up to the Scion going in.
Yeah, he did some really big damage at the end, but that's Orianna. She scales up.
I feel like Cloud9's biggest flounder was they picked a late game carry composition, but then they were never able to come online on any of their champions.
The Victor, that was their biggest flounder.
It's like Kai'Sa, if you get Kai'Sa late game and she's got gold, like she will destroy everyone.
But they end up so far behind the ball.
Aatrox is the same. It's like he's such a good, powerful character if you can funnel gold into him. And at 40 minutes, and he didn't have enough items to do anything, it was just like,
yeah.
Like, Ezreal's got such a fast-paced start. I don't know. It's really weird how that all worked out.
And they picked the Braum to help Kai'Sa through the early game, which did fine. They picked the Lee Sin as the early game jungler, which did well too. And in the Victor, it's funny because the other losses we've seen on Victor, or even the wins where the team bailed them out, like Huni's Victor should have not won. The whole point of picking the Victor is to bully the lane. You push it in over and over, you farm up, they miss farm because it's under turret, the turret's taking damage, you get a couple plates, and you're abusing Kleptomancy while you're at it. And Licorice actually did that. But Scion eventually doesn't die, and then he TPs back to the lane, you push him out, fine, he ults back to the lane, you push him out again, guess what? He TPs back to the lane, you push him out again, oh, his ult's back up. You're not going to push out Scion the way you could some other top lane champion, because he has 2 ways to get back to lane. Yeah. And so once that happened, even though Licorice had built a CS lead and a gold lead, it didn't matter anymore. And Licorice was also not far enough ahead to have gotten the damage items to be able to team fight, whereas the early tank items are cheap, and so, Darshan was able to team fight as the Scion and do okay. Mm-hmm. And so that turns into more gold for Scion, and then just snowballs out of the range of where Victor is ever going to be able to kill him. And so if your Aatrox isn't, or your Kai'Sa aren't snowballing, you have no ability to kill a tank. And it's exactly what you said. They never got ahead. So, it ends up being the crux of that top lane that even though Licorice played it so well, in my opinion, he didn't, crush it, he wasn't getting kills, but I think he played what you're supposed to out of the Victor. They never got kills, so he never snowballed, which meant none of their team got anywhere.
Yeah.
And
That was sad for C9.
They ended up with a late game
17
comp,
was
like
late
you
game.
said. And I think going back to what we mentioned about Dragons, I think you're going to see more and more early game comps because we're seeing Dragons be important. We're seeing the fact that in no way is like a mid-late game guaranteed to anyone.
Yeah.
Like you can get lucky like CLG did against FlyQuest and they just don't finish on their lead.
Yeah.
But most of these teams are.
Yeah.
So you
I
can't.
think CLG will do that again and again because the first game against FlyQuest they didn't have the Dragons, they didn't have the gold, and they still pulled through. And then C9 versus C9, they played it slow and tanky again, but they still had a lead over C9. Like C9 was never able to kind of be on top of that entire game pretty much. But
do we think CLG might be kind of like 100 Thieves was last year, where they're the team who's able to just drag it out and then beat you in the late game?
Yeah, that's what I think they're going to do next.
They're just going to build an identity around that?
I think if it works...
Whatever wins.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Nope, I agree. If it works, I bet they'll do it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, so let's talk about that other team that used to have that identity, 100 Thieves. They are off. They went from making it to Worlds, and granted, they backed their way into that one and blew up their team. But they brought in a world champion AD carry in Bang, and kept Someday, and brought in Huhi, I guess, in the mid.
Did something dumb that what did he do?
But they've started off 3-1, or I'm sorry, 1-3. Their only win being over Golden Guardians, and it wasn't a clean win either, was it? Golden Guardians almost came back and won that.
I don't remember.
I'll have the highlight reels running here in a moment, but yeah, Golden Guardians actually had a fight in their own jungle where 100 Thieves, like, it seemed like they just got impatient. They didn't want to wait anymore, and they almost threw the game.
If they could have thrown the game for Golden Guardians, I would have been pretty appreciative.
I know, I had Golden Guardians picked. Heather was the only one who had 100 Thieves winning, and you were the only one who had Echo Fox winning on day 2. I failed both.
Yay.
Yeah, my predictions are not going well.
What did 100 Thieves... I swear to God, he picked something that made me mad.
Day 1 he picked Yorick into
yes.
TSM?
Into his Impact Scion. TL's Impact Scion, yes. And I thought that was silly.
He didn't do well early, but he was the only person on that team doing anything late, I felt like.
Well, I felt like
they would show like the damage from a team fight, and it was like all of the 100 Thieves had done like 1,000, 1,500, and York had done like 15,000 damage. Like, I'm glad they're putting Someday on carries, because I bitched about it last week, and I'm sure you guys remember, and they put him on York, and they put him on Akali, which I would have not thought of Akali for him, because it's not something that's tanky, but he played well on it. He was popping off. Yeah, and here's that team fight where 100 Thieves won. Definitely was able to stay out of the fight on Kaisa, and he just put out the damage to get through. Although Bang was doing incredibly well on the Ezreal. I mean,
Ezreal's pretty crazy right now, considering like I feel like he got nerfed, but he's also still a mainstay. He's still being picked. I feel like his R got nerfed pretty hard. It seems like the R is not hurting as much when it hits.
They changed it a bit.
I see him chunking people with that thing. But like Sven?
Yeah, Sven did really well on it too. Like, we've seen Ezreal doing quite well. So right there too. So if Someday doesn't manage to pull the 3 surviving Golden Guardians members off of that Baron, I bet they take that and win the game. And then they end up losing the fight on Baron here a little bit later.
Yes.
They'll show that again. Yeah. Where I think if Deftly stays in the pit to help kill Someday instead of ulting out on Kaisa, then Contracts doesn't have to spike to stay alive. Yeah, or even if he just stayed there, in Contracts, still smites to stay alive, he might be the one who gets the damage to kill it instead of Someday's Akali coming back in.
If he had poked it like twice more, his smite would have killed it.
And I think that
healed him too.
Yeah, this game could have very easily gone the other way. Now, do I think 100 Thieves or Golden Guardians was the better team? 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves played better the whole time. They gave up one fight by being over-aggressive, opened up that door, and then they got a little bit, lucky with a misplay by Golden Guardians around the Baron, but they also played it well. Yeah. And then they were able to just finish it out like a team should when they have everything in their basket. So they definitely did earn their win here, but I'm still not confident in 100 Thieves going forward. I just don't know. I think part of their victory was, like I said, carries for Someday. Ezreal's really good, as Chase was mentioning. I think he's a good one for Bang. A lot better than putting him on Victor like they did against Team Liquid for whatever goddamn reason.
I can't believe. So you're telling me that they don't always get to pick their people? Like they got someone behind them saying, "No, you need to go."
They have a coach on stage. Yeah,
that's bullshit. I'd ignore that coach.
I mean,
I'd walk in. ADC.
So it's generally the coaches like suggest and stuff, but I don't think I've ever heard a player say that players don't have the final say.
I figured they gotta have the final say.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like
a really weird final
even
say.
in a basketball game or a football game, like the coach can say this is the play, but when the players are on the court, you can't fucking stop them from doing something else. Like they're the ones who click it. You can't make them not.
Yeah.
Like you could berate them afterwards. And so for them, it's, well, if I pick not what he told me to, then it's on me if we lose.
Yeah.
Well, so all the coaches, they're on stage. They usually have a notebook filled with, like, if it's probably like a giant flow chart.
Oh.
Did they pick this? Go to page 3. Did they pick this?
Yeah.
Go to page 5.
Yeah, the coaching staff spends a couple hours doing possible drafts with each team they play every week.
So they always have kind of an idea of what's going to be played, but it's not final until they're on stage, and then
Yeah, well, and you hear that players are like, yeah, we did like a lot of drafts, and in none of them did we see them giving us a Kali. And so we took it. Like, we didn't know what we were going to build our comp around it, because we hadn't gone, okay, if we get a Kali, we want this. They're like, fuck, a Kali's there. Fucking just take it, man. Like, if Zoe and Sion show up right now, you probably just take it, right? Yeah. Or if Cassiopeia were to make it through, because she's still permaban status.
Yeah, that's crazy. She's been banned.
She was banned every game this week. She was let through just to TL against Cloud9 last week.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't see her as that strong, but maybe I don't play against her enough to know.
She's still a good bully mid, and she's able to snowball early.
Yeah.
And right now, since early control is so important, she kind of, especially because she's also super good at taking down dragons and barons, because she just pumps out the DPS.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other things at play, but that's always like the root of her power. And so when early game is good, she's generally good. So
their games coming up though, CG and CLG for 100 Thieves. Hard to choose. I'm probably gonna pick CG and CLG both days.
Yeah, I think if 100 Thieves doesn't 2-0 this week, they're done. They're like the 0-4, which only Golden Guardians is right now.
How far did I put them down? Because I feel like I was shitting on them pretty hard.
You put them at like 6th. I think you did. I have them at like 4th. Oh no, I had them at. Oh no, never mind. 6th, and I had them at 3rd. 100 Thieves. So far you're far better on that. However, Golden Guardians, I'm far better than you are on that, because I think you put Golden Guardians at 5th.
Yes, they're gonna make it. It's okay.
Give me this.
Give me these. Oh no.
I'm gonna write it on yours. Mine are gonna be in the bottom left.
Okay. It's been interesting so far. I think, but I really do think 100 Thieves, if they're gonna make playoffs, they have to be able to beat teams that you got to put below you. Clutch and CLG are 2 of those teams. CLG more so than Clutch, but like if you can't beat CLG, a team that's like hunting for 7-6 right now after their 2-0 week,
you had FlyQuest at 10.
You've got no shot.
Yeah.
Chase. Yeah, Chases were. They looked better last week than they do this week.
Yeah. Don't judge me.
Neither of ours are great.
But I wish I had done this on the first week, because I would have picked so differently too.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. Next split we'll be doing them again, and it'll be fantastically terrible. But yeah, I think. Oh man, 100. I don't see them recovering well enough. Like they won against Golden Guardians. Woo! Who hasn't? Oh, no one. I mean, just people who haven't played them. And honestly, let's go ahead. Let's talk about Golden Guardians. 0-4, Chase.
It's making me real sad.
You're still wearing the hat, though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna jump ship on them. They were my number 2 team last year. They're gonna be my number 1 team. I'm just gonna stick it out. Worst case scenario, they don't make playoffs, and then I'll be sad.
Worst case scenario is they get last, or don't win any games.
Ooh, don't say that.
No, they're gonna win 6 games. We have them slotted for 6, right?
Yeah. I was hoping they would have gotten at least 2 of those at this point.
Yeah, they really should have at this point. I mean, when they faced off against 100 Thieves, both those teams were 0-3. Like, that was... And they did have... I mean, we just talked about it. They had a chance to take that game. They really did.
Yeah.
Cloud9, like, honestly, the Cloud9 game, they did not have a shot in that one. And as poorly as Cloud9 played against CLG and CLG took them down, if you want to see how to play vision control, watch Cloud9 Golden Guardians from day 1 of week 2. It was a masterclass in vision. They were all carrying buttloads of pink wards all the time. They were controlling full sides of the jungle, then backing up and either immediately going on, like Rift Herald or Baron, or setting up the bait. And they just showed the clip of actually when they took Baron, or was it Baron there or Rift Herald? I think it was Baron, but they backed up and they had 3 of the team on Baron, and they kept shoving 2 people back towards mid lane. Niski and Zazel, or maybe it was Niski and Licorice? No, Niski and Zazel kept showing up in the mid lane, and so like, oh, we're hitting these minions, and go out in the fog, and then come back, and so it's like, well, we see 2 mid, they're not on Baron. But they were the whole time. And so then when the team finally, like, goes to check, Golden Guardians goes to check, like, it's 1 too late, and then Niski just blows up contracts. Like, Zoe dirty. So
like,
dirty.
Across the wall one, right? Like,
yeah, hits him with the trouble
mid-lane.
bubble from, like, Raptors. It was gross. But yeah, that game, that's how you play vision. But more specifically on Golden Guardians, it goes back to what I said at the beginning of the year. I had them as, like, a dark horse to be a team that could do really well, but I predicated it on Froggen being good.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like Froggen being good and then putting Haunter on tank champions. I said that too. What did he play this week? He played Victor against Cloud9, and he played Urgot against 100 Thieves. He did okay on the Urgot.
Yeah.
Why they weren't picking... I mean, they banned Sion instead of picking it. Leave the Sion up and first pick it. You have first pick. Like, I'm sure Haunter doesn't want to play it, but when he was playing that on TSM at the end of last year, he actually looked alright. Like, why aren't you just doing that?
I don't know much about Hunters to make those comments, but...
Haunter used to be what Licorice is now. He was like the shining light of NA mid laners. Like, oh, he can win. He'll
Top
duel
laners.
you. I'm sorry, top laners. He'll win. He'll duel you. He's actually like mechanically good. But he hasn't been dominating a lane in like a full season.
Yeah, he wasn't looking very good on TSM last year. I mean, he always looked okay, but he's not looking especially great right now. I feel like next week they have a chance to come back with Optic and TSM. Optic and TSM, they both are viable options for winning. And it's very possible that they could 2-0 that weekend. Likely? That's a different story.
No,
it's possible.
You say viable just because they're not like a top 2 team, or what?
Yeah. Well,
because I mean, I think TSM's somewhat formidable. They showed chinks in their armor this week, and we haven't gotten to them. I think Optic is the team that's currently kind of gunning that 6th place, and I see TSM a little bit above that. So if they do 2-0 this week, it shows they've righted the ship for sure.
You're talking about GG's?
Yeah. I just don't see it happening personally.
I don't think
it seems kind of like they're not playing, Cloud9 TSM or Cloud9 Liquid this week. But this isn't that far removed from that in how daunting it is, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely have a hole to climb out of. I feel like week 3 could get them back into it. It really sucks. Their academy team beat Echo Fox's academy team over the weekend. And then the main roster is still coming up zeros.
Yeah, I'd like to see him do well. I would. I don't know that I can see it happening, honestly. It's so disappointing. It really is. Oh, and I looked it up. For a team finishing 10th or 9th place to eventually be possibly kicked out of the league, like lose their franchising spot, it has to be 5 of 8 splits.
Oh.
Well, they've got 2. If they were to finish last or second last this split, they're over halfway there. And, like, not only... It's not 5 splits in a row. It's 5 out of 8.
Yeah.
So, that'd be... I'd be scared already, being like, oh, we've done 2 out of 2.
So what happens if they go 0-2 next week?
No. It's not next week.
It's the full split.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, what happens if they do? Like, if they're 0-6?
They're gonna have a really hard time not finishing 9th.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they still play the split
When
out
they
as
finish-
normal.
Well, we're talking about like
it's-
being disenfranchised. Like
Yeah.
that would require them to
right.
get
feel really
9th or
bad
10th
for
play.
them.
I would feel so bad for
It's
them.
so sad. Like, I don't
Might.
think they're gonna win. I really don't.
Right.
But that sucks.
There's no way they can
They just
leave.
need to get 7th place.
Right. Yes. A lot.
I don't think they will. What's the last place?
10th.
10th.
Yeah, 9th and 10th are the last two.
10th. Like, that's what I'm.
They're on track for it. And they got it the last
projecting,
two splits.
Oh,
If they
man.
were like the soonest they could be kicked out of the league would not be this split or the next split. It would be after 2020 spring split. If they were to go 9th and 10th, all 5 of those splits in a row, they could be kicked out. And they're not going to be even remotely in the clear for a while because it's always the last 8 splits. So it's going to be years until they like shuffle those first 2 off of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see them go from this 0-4 to like make a run and end up, 10-6
We've
or some
already
shit.
got this figured out. They're gonna win
6.
6, and then they're gonna win 7 next split, and hopefully that puts them into playoff.
They won't be in playoffs until like 2 years from now. But
Ah,
Man.
killing me, Golden Guardians.
I'm gonna have to learn how all this split stuff works. I don't.
yeah, well, split's just the 9 weeks.
Yeah,
here.
so these
Yeah.
9 weeks is the split.
So you play 2 games
this
over 9
box
weeks.
over here
so it's
is
just
for the
18
summer.
games is
Okay.
each split, and then there's 2 splits per season.
Okay.
So yeah. So last year they won 4 games in the first split and got last.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second split they won 5 games and got last. So we're like, oh, they're gonna win 6 next
They're gonna
time.
win 6 games.
6 games. They wish. They're gonna win 6 next split, and then 7, and then 8. Like it's just gonna roll up.
They're gonna build up. All right.
Yeah.
They have
They're not
to build a
showing that
stronger,
right now,
stronger
though.
team because they are not that strong.
No, they've got 7 weeks to get 6 wins, and they've never averaged like a win a week ever. Not even close. Like I think they've maybe won 2 games in 2 weeks once. Like they're
Someone
not
has
good.
to lose though. Like the
Well,
league
and
is-
so far it's them.
Yeah, and that sucks. But
Well, I'm hoping next week that it's Optic and TSM, and they get
Yeah.
the 2-0, and then they're like, okay, we can play this game professionally.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, we've just been running team to team because honestly, there's a lot of shuffling weird. Let's hit TSM quick then.
I have things to say about TSM.
All right.
I like
I mean, TSM they beat Echo Fox on day 1 and dropped to FlyQuest on day 2.
Yeah.
What do you got? Hit us with it, Heather.
Okay, I was telling you earlier. Broken Blade, day 1, game 1 versus Fox. He isn't able to get Aatrox because the first pick goes to Fox and they pick Aatrox. So
Right.
he plays Aurelia. They win, but that was, a game where Fox did alright and then they had to come back. And then day 2, game 4 versus Fly, he has first pick and he goes Urgot, giving first pick over to Viper. Viper had just played the day before on Aatrox and did wonderfully even though they lost to CLG. What?
You can look at it right now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And so that's what happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, so, Aatrox just does this. Solo just freaking solos him. That's it. It's great. And he does it again later in bottom lane. Almost,
Yeah, I think they're
until
about
his
to
team
show
comes in.
that one too.
And I just thought
it's a
that
little
was
bit
the
later.
dumbest thing that Broken Blade can do on a champ that he does really well at, in my opinion, on Aatrox, because he's good at Aatrox.
Right, was
They
to give
are.
it up and then
And they
give
give it-
kills
yes.
over on top of it.
So, I don't know. That made me mad.
Yeah.
Especially since I like Broken Blade and Acadian as a unit, because they...
I think
They do some-
I
they
feel like
generally do
Broken
some
Blade and
good
Acadian
stuff.
have generally been playing well. I feel like they didn't play as well this week, but their
Yes.
bottom half, Bjergsen, Sven, and Smoothie were all
Yes.
doing much better this week. Which, I mean, is how you result in going 1-1 again. Like, the person who's doing well first week kind of falls off and everybody else steps up,
Yes.
instead.
Yeah.
So, what do we think of TSM as a whole right now? Unless you have more specific
No,
things
that
to
was
talk
it.
about.
I was just that one thing I really centered it on because I was so mad that Broken Blade gave up Aatrox to someone that had just the day before done a very good job on Aatrox.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think TSM looked a little worse for wear this week, personally. I think last week they looked as a solid, probably number 3 in the league. It was like TL, Cloud9, TSM. And this week I'm not so confident in
Yes,
that
I
from
agree.
them.
Definitely.
I mean, because, like,
What about you?
Echo Fox, they
I was gonna
beat.
say, on the whole, TSM feels pretty good. But
Yeah.
Like they beat Echo Fox, but it's
They
not
did.
like they smashed them.
yeah.
Like they
Back and forth
really
game,
looked
that was a
like they
very
were gonna
fun game to
lose
watch.
because of
Yes.
Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't have high hopes for TSM right now. I think they're looking pretty shaky. I definitely don't think they're a number 3 team right now. I bet they're probably close to a 4 or 5 maybe. And next week they've got Cloud9 and Golden Guardians. If Cloud9 can get their heads out of their ass, I'm
Don't
mad.
pick Victor.
Yeah. If you're watching this Cloud9, scrap him.
Just please don't.
Yeah, if Cloud9 can get their heads out of their ass, this should be hook, line, sinker for Cloud9. And if Golden Guardians can, show signs of life, like, they just have to show a few signs of life. They don't have to, like, go crazy with it. Just, like, let us know you're there.
So what happens if TSM loses to Golden Guardians? In the grand scheme of the league, where does that
I'm
put
gonna
us?
lose my shit is what I'm gonna do.
Shocked Pikachu face. That's me. Yeah.
Like,
Don't know.
I think at that point, it really confuses where TSM lands.
Yeah. I'll say that. I don't expect TSM to lose to Golden Guardians. I really don't.
You
But
shut your mouth.
who knows? CLG. I said panic for them.
And I
then they
would point out
dominated.
TSM's loss to FlyQuest. They gave
Yeah.
up the Zoe.
Yes.
And
yes.
they actually, and like you point out, they gave it up to Viper, the Aatrox. So they gave up Aatrox both times.
Mhm.
And
Well, not
they
the, you mean not the first game or first game? They didn't give up Aatrox. They first picked him.
Right, it got taken.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have banned it.
That's true.
It's been banned
That's
some,
true.
hasn't it? Yeah, it's been banned
Some.
a fair amount by Red Side. So, yeah, they allowed Aatrox both times to the enemy team, and they gave up Zoe. Just seemed like
No,
an
it's cool.
odd combination of power picks to get over, especially when their final ban was Jace.
Yeah,
Like,
who were they taking that from?
I mean,
Just-
they would have been banning it away from Viper, I would guess. I mean,
Okay.
they faced it against Echo Fox on day 1. Yeah, like, and I guess that Jace was actually a bot lane Jace. It was a marksman, and it did well. And maybe that was it. Maybe Sven was like, fuck that
Yeah.
Jace. I don't know.
I can see not wanting to play against that. That's a long range.
But
right there.
is it worth banning?
No,
do
I
you
don't
do you
think
think this team also picked it up? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't assume any marksman knows how to play Jace. I would assume a top laner does, but this is North America, so they're gonna suck at it. Even Huni sucked at it this week because he's been in NA so long. Apparently, he's now an NA Jace instead of a Korean Jace. So I don't know. It's interesting, and I think TSM might need to be careful going
Yes.
forward.
Yeah.
I still think they're good. I think they're solidly a playoff team, but they're not looking like a top a contender for top 2. Even though Cloud9 lost to CLG, somehow I don't feel like TSM is a contender for top
Yes.
2 right now.
Yeah. I think C9's still up there. They just,
Which I think, yeah, that
they got
encapsulates
surprised. I
it.
think they were like, what happened?
They went surprise Pikachu face.
Yeah, they did. All right.
Oh man. Any other teams we want to run over? I think we've hit almost
I
everyone.
want to run over a lot of teams.
Right. We actually, I think the only one we didn't actually discuss at all was Clutch, and we kind of skimmed over Echo Fox as
I
well.
was real disappointed in Clutch this week. That's all I said.
Clutch
They were
went
real
0-2
messy.
to Optic and Team Liquid.
Well, Team Liquid, that was kind of. I'm pretty sure I picked Team Liquid over. Yeah, I did. So, but
Yeah,
I picked
well, I
CG
mean-
over Optic, and Optic won that one.
Yeah.
But their first game versus Optic seemed pretty messy. I guess, like not really coordinated.
Yeah,
Maybe?
I
I don't
don't know what to think of Clutch
Welcome
this
to the
week.
world of following Huni.
Oh my god.
Up and down. up and
I
down.
He is. He's always
I rode that train so hard last year, and I did nothing but be disappointed. He would have bouts of brilliance, and then all of a sudden, like, he'd be like, I don't know how to play this game. What are we playing right now?
Sometimes in the same game.
Yeah.
Like, I got 2 kills to start my lane. You know what I should do? Turret dive to give up the shutdown.
Yeah. No, that's what I was talking about, Duck. If we could, like, run over, maybe not kill anybody, but, like, maim a handful of them, like, give my Golden Guardians, like, a real chance. But,
Well, because so he played the Rumble on day 2 against Liquid, I believe.
he plays the Rumble all the time.
Right. Well, like Rumble's an
Yeah.
old pick for him. I'm not like against the Rumble.
No,
Don't get
no,
me
not
wrong.
at all. It's just if you see a Rumble on the screen, 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
Mooney's attached to it.
He played the Rumble the Rumble was into Akali in the mid lane, wasn't it? Or not? God, I'm having a hard time remembering.
I know.
Aatrox was top. It was Aatrox Akali on
I
Liquid.
watched
We could
these
do this
matches
differently.
today.
We literally
and,
the highlight was
Yeah,
actually
no,
just
right,
running, and I didn't look because I'm an idiot. It's okay. Let's go. I'm just gonna bring up the clutch optic. It doesn't matter. But either way, like he played the Jason the Scion on day 1, and that's what I just don't get.
Yeah.
Like,
that seems like
I
a
get
really
it.
good matchup.
You're
Who
going to be
picked
able to poke
first?
him, but if you don't dominate that lane,
'Cause they
which
picked-
they didn't, then you lose.
And he picked Jace before Scion.
Yeah.
Which is even dumber. in my opinion.
He picked the Jace, allowing his opponent to pick a tank
Yeah.
into it, and Scion's there, and Scion's really good right now. It just I don't understand it because I'm sure he thought, oh, I'm just gonna win this lane so hard. But he narrows his own win conditions by doing stuff like that, where he says, oh, I'm gonna win this lane, and doesn't think about, yeah, but if I don't, and if there's a weird, terrible skirmish in the jungle, and we give up a triple kill, which you're all watching right now, that lane is over. I mean, seriously, you gave Dokla a triple kill at 7.5 minutes into the game. Jace was never going to win. Ever. Like, he had double Dorans and a fucking dagger at one point, while it was like, oh, I have a Fro Fist and Ninja Tabis and a Giant's Belt. Like, come at me, bro. Like, he was getting solo killed as they went forward, up top, because he had nothing. He was down like 2-3 levels at times.
There's a reason I don't really remember, because you keep talking about like the triple kill, because you mentioned it like earlier in the show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really remember that. Here's my notes. Tuned in at 23 minutes, because not gonna lie, I think I was playing my own game at that point.
Nice.
It's a Baron play. CG is behind and coming back, but Optic takes the Baron. So
Yeah.
I guess I missed like the first 23 minutes.
Yeah,
where he
no.
gave, like he got the triple kill and everything.
So what happened was, Clutch, Lyra invaded the red.
Yeah.
Huni kind of came to support. He was late coming to support, which is fine. But Vulcan had walked, Vulcan had walked up. It was so obvious. He walked through
telegraphed
mid.
where he was
It's
going,
like,
right?
huh? I wonder where the fucking support's going. They just walked through mid, and we saw the enemy jungler in our jungle not too long ago. So, and it takes so long that Optic collapses around it and just shits down their throats. It was just like, well, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, Gates coming from base on Thresh, and so he gets like, hook, 2-person flay, another hook, another flay. Like, you're not running anywhere. Like, it was completely fucking done. And like, Scion is strong enough right now, period, we've seen. You're gonna give him up free kills or assists in that jungle. Like, granted, most of the time it's not gonna result in a triple kill for him, but even if he got like a kill and an assist, and Huni doesn't get more than that, then that Jace isn't snowballing, and Jace is a snowball champion. Like, if he's not winning his lane, he's not gonna do well.
You let me down.
So
Huni, Lyra,
frustrating.
DeMonte trio.
Like I said, I've been there. I know how it feels.
Apparently, this is the thing with Huni that I'm learning.
Oh, you will continue to learn it. Even though you think you've known it. Like, I picked Clutch to win. Like,
Yeah.
there's a few teams that after the games this weekend, I thought, nope, I'm not picking you again until you prove you're worth picking. Like, because I did that last split with Optic, where I was like, I see so much potential in them. And then they kept just pissing down their own leg. It's like, right now, I'm not picking Golden Guardians until they win at least 2 games. I don't give a shit who they're playing. Until they've got a 2 in their win column, it's not worth it for me to pick them. I can just be right every time. Like, if they go 2-0 next week, great. I will take those 2 losses, but I am picking both Optic and TSM next week. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if all of a sudden TSM and Optic all have hepatitis C and can't play.
Their substitutes are gonna come in and
Yeah,
still
no.
win.
Academy TSM and Optic. Well, it's already like part Academy Optic. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, it's fucking Golden Guardians, and they continue to shit the bed over and over and over prove to me why I should pick you. And I'm leaning the same way with 100 Thieves.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Same.
absolutely not picking 100 Thieves to win anything going forward.
Like, it's Clutch and CLG, so I'm like, oh, you're not great. Like, part of me
CLG's
wants to
a
go,
hard one.
I'm not going to pick Clutch until they get their head out of their ass. But I'm like, oh, but you're playing 100 Thieves. I think
Yeah,
their
pick
head's
one.
deeper in ass. Like, if it's a contest of whose shoulders I can see more of before their butt cheeks, like, I think I can see slightly more of Clutch's shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, 100 Thieves got it wrapped around. It's like a shawl at this point.
Okay.
They're getting some really big width at that point. Like,
Oh, yeah. No, there's stretching involved for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to see the brutal dildo that they're using to train themselves with.
It's just a traffic cone.
I'm sorry. It's so funny. Yeah, okay, so that's
So that was something. That was a
that's
visual.
CG. That's CG. I still love them. I still think I want to go check out that Clutch Gaming that they have here. That's what I'm going to do sometime this week. They have a little PC cafe.
Oh, it's not related, but yes.
It's not?
No.
Oh, that makes me the saddest thing ever.
Wait,
Yeah.
what's up?
The Clutch PC cafe place.
Oh.
the
Yeah,
PC
it's called
down
Clutch
here.
Gaming, so I was like, oh shit. Look
No,
at that.
they are not associated in any
I
way.
didn't figure I was going to run into Hooney, like, if it, it'd be cool
That
if
would
it
be
was
dope.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, they are not
I'd
affiliated.
rather meet Lyra at this
I mean,
point.
it's
I don't know
possible.
why.
We do have a lot of Texans that have invaded Colorado, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't be out of.
I think that place existed before the team, though.
Oh.
Texas?
Yeah. Texas did exist before the team.
I-
Thank you
I know
for pointing
shit.
that out, Heather.
That was well played.
Yeah.
All right, so we played a little game last week of the panic or relax, all that. Let's do it this week, but it's not.
Everyone panic is basically what we need to do.
So we're gonna do similar this week. We're gonna do who are your 6 playoff teams, who are your 4 out, or 3 out, 4 out, 4 out.
Yeah.
Math.
I wrote down my numbers on that piece of paper,
6
but I'm pretty sure I put one
plus
twice somewhere.
4 equals 10. Simple maths.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody, who are well? I mean, we can just go by 4 out, or we can start top down. I think that's probably easier for most people.
Are you gonna write them down or what?
Like we all have liquid in, right?
You
yes,
know,
TL.
Cool.
Top
Liquid's
spot.
in. And then Cloud9, despite their loss this week,
It's still a formidable team.
it seems unlikely they're going to drop below 6th, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we don't have to pick numbers. We can just pick who's
No,
gonna be. Okay,
just in and out.
Because I was like, that's too much information.
Yeah, we're just going in and out.
Fly.
Golden Guardians, are we going there out?
Yes.
I'm going
Chase-
there in.
Chase is keeping them in. All right.
For real?
For real.
I thought you were just joking. Okay.
So I'm marking
Oh.
over here the Chase picks because God knows that's always a thing
Different.
on its own. All right, so let's start breaking it down here.
Break it down. Wicka wicka wicka.
Okay, FlyQuest is 3-1.
I
They're,
think
they're
they're
actually ahead of Cloud9 in the standings.
Yeah, I think they're in. I think they've got a really good team. I think they play well together. And, I mean, they're very disciplined with what they do. But, I mean, CLG was just more disciplined. I think I put that somewhere on here. Like, CLG was very disciplined
Yeah.
in there.
I mean, I said too that I
Focus.
thought FlyQuest had that game and gave it away.
Yes.
They had it and they weren't willing to stomp on the throat and get it done.
Well,
They were
couldn't.
looking for CLG to give them an opening, and
Yeah,
when
they
CLG didn't, then they ended up giving up openings. So I've got FlyQuest making it as well. I agree with you.
And I put
Chase?
Viper
I've
subbed
got
in this week.
FlyQuest in. Yes.
FlyQuest in. So Chase has 4 in already.
All right. Hold on. For my outs, I'm saying that CLG's out and Optic's out.
CLG and Optic. Okay.
And then I'm gonna do the big one, the big one. And I'm gonna say 100 Thieves out.
100 Thieves. I jump on 100 Thieves out as well. I don't know that they're going to get it together well enough.
And I think that's my 4, right? My 4 outs.
No, you have 3 outs.
God damn it.
CLG, Optic, and then you're like, and then I'm going to do the big one.
Yeah, 100 Thieves out.
That's 3.
Yeah, that is the big one.
Yeah, I know, but you're like, and then I did my 4. It's like, no, you did 2 and then 1. I have 100 Thieves out. What about you, Heather? Are you not willing to write them off? I mean, you have to.
I don't
That's the
know.
game right now. If you have to write 4 off.
If I have to write 4 off, it's probably GG's. I
Yeah.
don't want to say CLG yet.
So I
GG's, 100 Thieves, Optic, and Fox.
Optic and Fox. I'm writing off Fox and
I'll write off Fox as well. I'll have that be my 4th. Well, actually,
I'm picking based on like what I like. So
I'm between Clutch and
not what's
CLG
going on.
because I'm not sure if I can trust Huni to get a team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they have a good team though.
I picked both of those to stay in because I didn't want to pick either of them.
I'm picking CLG out. I'm going 100 Thieves,
okay.
CLG,
Right.
Echo, Fox, and Golden Guardians are my 4 out.
What do I have right now?
You have Optic, CLG, 100 Thieves out.
Optic, CLG, 100 Thieves.
So you're probably going Fox, Clutch, or I mean you have TSM.
I'll do
left.
Fox. Fox out.
Fox out. So then we're all letting. You said Clutch in?
Yeah.
So we're all saying Clutch, TSM make it in though yet. So,
yeah, TSM was
and
kind of on the
FlyQuest.
line for me.
So really the question comes down for us. You have Golden Guardians in, I have Optic in, and you have CLG in.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I don't think that, I mean, one of them's more crazy than the other two.
I think, well, I just with how CLG played this week, I want to see if they keep doing it again with this massive tank strat of having so much health that you just can't get past, like, the two main people that have 6 to 12k freaking HP at times.
Right. No, I think
And
it's totally viable to be a late game team to make it in playoffs that way.
yes.
To win playoffs, I don't think
know.
so.
We'll have to see when we get
Like in
there,
a best of 5 series, I don't think like late game tank strat's gonna work out enough times. But I think you can get enough wins to get 6th place as a late game team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially when you have some teams who will just flounder and throw shit away. Like, why not? Let's see, what do we got here from the people watching?
Peanut Gallery.
Jeff has Cloud9, TSM, Team Liquid, CLG for sure in, which I think we all ended up... Oh, no, he said CLG for sure. We all said FlyQuest for sure. So he's overlooking FlyQuest, apparently.
I think there's got to be Pro Belter, too.
Doug, it's hard to pick 6 and 4 out of
it really is.
this point of the season. Oh, no, absolutely. And that's why it's a game.
Yeah.
Want to see one more week. Yeah, and I think next... After week 4, I think we're going to know for sure everything but, like, probably 3 teams.
Yeah.
That seems to be the pattern. TL for sure, yeah. If TL doesn't make top 2, I'm going to be shocked. I think they're the hands-down favorite for winning the split by a margin at the moment.
You hang up their poster, so, like, you're already a fanboy on them a little bit.
It's funny because I'm not
fanboy-
actually a fan of that team.
Fanboying
I
on them
just
before
have
they
the
were
poster.
cool.
I will say that, like, going into this, TL wasn't, like, I'm not, like, the biggest TL fan. Like, I know Double Lift and everything, and, but I do like Core JJ.
It's not
Yeah.
that Team Liquid's bad or like I just don't like them based on principle.
Is it because your teams
they
are
win
bad
so
and theirs is good?
Yeah, basically. You crush my teams enough, you're dead to me.
Well, it happens a lot to you.
Well, apparently I just pick shitty teams.
God, the fact that you jumped so hard in that you're like, I'm all in on Golden Guardians. 0-4. Like, I feel a little bad for you, my friend.
To be honest, where else was I gonna go? I mean, like I said, I could have followed like Huni and Demonte to Clutch.
But
And that was about the
you've
only...
been hurt before.
I have been hurt before. I'm gonna break the cycle. I don't want to be under Huni's grasp anymore.
All right.
He's like the abusive boyfriend that I keep going back to.
Yeah.
It's like he just
He's good looking, but he hits you.
yeah, basically. But he treats me so well when he's not making me oh so sad.
Yeah. All right. Well, and in light of how things were a bit topsy turvy, day 2, on like day 1, we all picked the same things, and we all went 3 and 2. So we had a couple upsets day 1, and then day 2, it was not great.
No, it was everything wrong.
The best of us
Things
went 2. I
happened.
think, or no, you guys went 3 and 2.
I went 2 and 3 on day 2.
Yeah, everybody went 2 and 3
Yeah.
then, I think.
Really? I thought I got
No.
3.
You both went 2 and 3. I went 1 and 4. That's what happened.
But you went 4 and 1 on day 1, right?
Nope, we had all the same on day 1. I almost picked Optic over Clutch, and I
Oh,
should
okay,
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
all
you
had
went 4 and 10.
6 overall. Yeah.
4 and 6.
Yeah.
4.
So, and actually, the standings are right now on week 1.
Am I winning? Am I winning?
Chase went 6 and 4 on week 1. I went 5 and 5. You came in halfway through and went 3 and 2.
What was the first games? Read them off to me, but without like telling me who won.
The first
even,
games
like,
this
yeah.
week.
On
Or
week 1.
Week 1 first
Yeah.
games. Oh God. Give me a moment.
We've got.
Oh, no.
I know.
I
I
got
got
here.
here. Oh, you don't have.
So it was
your
100
colors
Thieves
are-
versus TSM.
I would have picked probably TSM.
Yeah. Cloud9 versus Liquid.
I probably would have picked Cloud9.
Yeah. Clutch versus Fox.
Probably Clutch, definitely.
CLG versus Optic.
I didn't know much about either team,
Yeah.
so I can't say.
And then FlyQuest Golden Guardians.
FlyQuest.
Yeah. So, anyway, I mean, we'll just go off percentages to make up for the 5. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
So then, this week, 5-5, 5-5, 4-6, which puts the overall standings at 9-11 in last, 11-9, 8-7. I don't know what the percentage there is. I haven't run it yet.
It's okay.
No, I'm gonna do it right now. Equals.
Well,
8 divided by.
we should give her whatever the lowest score of the day was on day 1, and just.
It's 5. I don't know. I'd have to look.
2 and 3, right?
Hold on. 8 plus. Oh, there'd be 15. Dur. And then yours would be 20. So equals 11 divided by 20. Boom. You are slightly ahead. You're at 55%. She's at 53.
I probably would have been a bit lower though.
Well, so
that first day.
I think what we should
Be
do
right
to
on. I would've picked
counteract.
C9.
There's no need. There's percentages for a reason.
But percentages aren't good.
Aren't good.
He wants to win by a larger margin is all this is. It's okay.
I usually throw really hard later on, so don't worry about it.
I was terrible last year because I was trying so hard to like catch up and win, and then I just like dug myself, and that's why, on principle, not picking Golden Guardians next week.
Yeah, no,
Fuck them.
no.
These are losses. Golden Guardians, losses.
I feel bad.
Losses. Done with you. Should have not picked them to beat 100 Thieves. They could have done it, but no, they hate me.
They're not the only ones.
I also picked. You know what? Clutch did me dirty too. I'm not picking Clutch next week. 100 Thieves is going to beat Clutch next week.
God, that's the hard one. That's the hard one because I want to pick CLG over 100.
That's it. I'm not picking
But
Golden
the
Guardians or
Clutch
Clutch next week. They can all fuck off. I decided it right now.
Ooh, really? You're picking 100 Thieves? I'm sorry.
They're both bad.
So,
One of them has Hoonie.
So, is that going to be our bubble wrap midget matches for next week?
Oh, that one? Yeah, that's the bubble wrap for next week. Because Golden Guardians doesn't play anybody that bad. The other one you could say is Fox versus CLG, but I think Clutch 100 is worse.
I think Clutch 100 Thieves is going to be the special boxing round for everyone. Yeah.
Why do you? I know that you do it like this because this is how it plays out.
Yes.
But can you just put like who they pick and who they ban?
So this used to be my notes, and then I realized that took forever. And so like having the information was always super great, but
because it's just fucking confusing.
it took me a whole fucking split to figure this out.
Yeah.
So.
And then you didn't
Or at
even
least-
realize that green was who won and red was who lost.
Or at least can you like not color the bands? Because I mean, like that doesn't matter as much. But
Yeah,
I would
no,
like
I
to
could-
have that separated
I could
from
change
who
that
was
a bit.
picked.
Yeah.
Because if I can just look at who was picked, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's
Maybe how
a whole bunch of names in a a grid.
No, I agree. I literally didn't like. Kurt would hand me this every
Fox?
single week, and I'd be like, "Yes, I do know what's going on, guys. Let's pretend."
Oh, that's why I put like my
Don't want
picks
it,
right
don't need
here
it.
because it's so much easier to read.
Well, I had my own notes last year, and
Yeah.
then I'm too fucking lazy to do them this year.
Oh
so
shit! I'm gonna get like that.
Fox can't be out. Russia's never gone 0-2 in a week. They'll be 9-9, which should get a playoff spot. Actually, 50% didn't make it last year, if I remember correctly. Let me pull it up real quick. So summer split. The last playoff spot went to a team. Yeah, they were all 10-8.
Okay, there's way more.
So 9-9 missed last split, and then there wasn't a 500 the split before. So if they go 9-9, they're probably out. I'm just saying. Unless Golden Guardians goes 0-18.
don't even say that. That could actually happen.
It could.
Does it hurt on the inside?
I'm still gonna buy their jersey. Fuck everyone else. I don't care. I'm gonna wear it with pride.
You're like that poor fucking kid who has to wear like a Jacksonville Jaguars jersey.
Bro,
They're terrible.
thanks.
You know they are.
Yeah. So I was only, born there.
I know, I have a friend who was born there too.
Hey, we got closed last year, and then we got patsed. It's okay, or braided, however you want to say it.
Fuck the Pats.
Yeah.
And on that note, fuck the Pats. I think that's about it for League of Loggers. Do we got anything else? Or
No.
nope. They'll do it
I
for
was too tired.
That's it for the episode. We'll at least I'll stick around and shoot the shit a bit with the chat. But everyone, thanks for joining. We'll be more on time next week, and I'll be more prepared as well because I was traveling this weekend.
Traveling, yeah.
Although we have Smash Den next weekend. Whew.
Yeah.
But that's only Saturday. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining. Until next time. Cheers.
Bye.